of the course. And then that is why the one student didn't complete. I think she was a little bit overwhelmed the first, week, and the guest speaker, don't do it right away. You need to wait later to do it later in the course. So that was something I learned. Do start with short motivational videos. And I have an excellent reference for one that I can share with you. Have a local entrepreneur come in to speak towards the end of the course. So by then, they've already completed all of these exercises to help prepare them and help them understand that, yes, they too can do this. I wanted to increase the amount of time that we were meeting from 8 hours a week to 9 hours and condense the course material to pick out the most important things to cover. And next time would like to incorporate more review of finances for the entrepreneurship and actually bring in an expert in this field as a speaker. So then what does your future look like? Can you see a bridge to your future career path? And so that is the first step of what I do when I am doing the bridge class. That's the first thing I do is I go through this with them. Okay, now I'm going to switch over to my next document. Okay. And so here, I hope you can see this if it's switched over. Okay. And
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, awesome. All right, so this was a summary of the key topics that were covered. And at the end of the presentation, I can put this like during the Q&A, I can drop a download link into the chat if you're interested. So we started with the slideshow, which I just showed you. It's an overview. And then I added Google Classroom. So I had a platform for us to land on, and I posted everything from there. I know different colleges have different, things that they can use. And we use Brightspace here at IVCC. But for this class, many of the students, because our population are not completely, into all of the other aspects. So we just do Google Classroom for ease. And so there was a great curriculum. We used quite a bit of it. And here are the course modules that were given and that I used from the curriculum that was given. And the first one was the activity. Are you a potential entrepreneur? We have to get their mind thinking in the right direction right off the bat. So then we give them 15 characteristics of an effective entrepreneur. And then we talked about a growth mindset. And I discussed briefly about the Shark Tank. We followed an entrepreneur who invented the security system Ring. Very, very interesting. So if you get a chance to check that out, you should check that out. It's really interesting. We watched a video, you can learn anything. And then there was 20 right and wrong reasons to start a business. 9 questions smart entrepreneurs answer before starting a business. We talked about skimming and scanning. 20 leading companies that market in unusual ways. Marketing has changed quite a bit within our society over the years. And so we have to kind of change with it. Buy an existing business or franchise, or the research process. So you want to do your due diligence before you start a business. And we did a franchise snapshot and the 5 P's of marketing, why having a business plan is important. And then we actually made just a short business plan. We didn't do a huge detail, we just did like an overview with this Shark Tank activity. I incorporated additional things into the course that I thought were very helpful. I used multiple motivational videos, and I used TED Talks, inspirational speeches like from graduation ceremonies, and so forth. So one of my favorites was "Don't Ever Give Up." Change that was kind of fell into the Will Smith movie there. There was a movie for that, and so "Don't Ever Give Up" fell into that one. Change Your Life, Why You Need to Fail to Succeed. That one was from a military sergeant. The Power of Belief, The Power of Words, Change the World, and The Dream Doesn't Work Unless You Do. I incorporated some important activities. I think team building is important, so I've added that into there. Also, we realized that our work skills are important, or if we're going to hire somebody with a certain work skills that we're looking for, we need to place a value on that. And so we did this fun activity where we did an auction for work skills, and we auctioned off, like, for example, we auctioned off organizational skills for $500, or, communication skills for $1,000. And they all had a certain amount of money that they could spend. And it was interesting to see which were the most important skills they wanted. We also created, I loved this because I wanted, when they left the class, to have something in their hand that would be useful for them to start their business or to use with their business that they had already started, and that would be helpful. And so we created a business marketing flyer on Canva. That was exciting for them. We also had the guest speaker that I mentioned earlier come in. She was a local entrepreneur. And then we visited her shop at the end of class, at the end of the course. Some important instructional strategies that I incorporated: effective listening, learning style, self-assessment inventory by site, habits of mind slideshow, setting SMART goals, attitude is everything slideshow, and taking notes slideshow. We had some additional comments like, when is Bridge Part 2 going to be offered? And many of the students felt like this course helped build their confidence, and they were looking for something more, and this helped them decide what to do. And so I had said originally, this was back in May, I would like to do a bridge exit interview to see what the students would like to see in this course and what they liked. And I actually ended up, even though the course was done, I reached out to the students and did one. So I'd like to share the data with you. And so let me scoot over here. We go. All right. So I did a bridge student exit interview on Google Forms, and I asked them, why did you want to take the bridge course? And here are some of their responses. And you can see those there. Because I am an entrepreneur, I like to keep myself in constant learning. I wanted to improve my English. I wanted to learn about business and so forth. I won't read all of those. Then we looked at, did this class help you realize your goals? 80% said yes. 20% said somewhat. So the blue is yes. On a scale of 1 to 5, so 5 would be the highest, how did this class help you to understand native speakers of English? And you can see most of the responses were from about 3 to 5. So it did help them. Also, how did this class help you with the reading of English? So we had 60% felt like it really did help them a lot. On a scale of 1 to 5, how this class helped you to write in English. So you can see we had like from the midway up, quite a few there. And communicate, speaking in English. And so again, our largest group was 60%. Here we go. How did this class help you work productively with others? 80% felt that they learned how to work productively with others. So we had different assignments and projects along with the team building that they had to work together to accomplish. And then I said, what would you like to see offered in the Bridge course curriculum? They want another course. So maybe an ICAPS. I would love to continue with a level 2 bridge to entrepreneur, which allows me to continue learning strategies, advantages and disadvantages of investing, how to register a patent, steps to follow legal registration of a business. It allows the stories of local entrepreneurs, steps to follow to connect our business with the community, and allowing us to make exhibitions open to the public, telling them about our experience and how we started our venture and what we want for the future. So they had some good ideas. What did you like best from the Bridge class? Let's see. Let's read this one. They liked the theory linked to reality with clear examples of successful entrepreneurial people. The different tools that exist to achieve your goals. Recognize the strong abilities we already have and also the ones we need to develop. And what was the most useful section from the Bridge class? And I thought this one right here in the middle is to start the challenge of seeing the class completely. And that was the one that I had used earlier in the orientation. They really liked the flyer. They also learned how to advertise on social media because our advertisement, our marketing has changed. And so then we said, what classes do you want to take next at the college? ICAPS, GED, certificate course, or a 2-year degree. And so several said their GED, an ICAPS, or a certificate. And the other one wants to continue with learning the language. So those are some things that we discussed right there. So I'm going to stop sharing right here. There we go. And I'm going to turn it over to Luke. And while he's talking, I'm going to drop some of those links into the chat.
All right. Yeah, Carrie, obviously she did a phenomenal job with the class. I was just going to go over a few little background behind the scenes stuff like before the class. Part of it, the recruitment that we try to have the class. Sarah, our director, we usually try to have at least 5 students. I think that's usually what she wants, to at least have a minimum of 5 students. We were fortunate enough for that class. I think we had 8 or 9. I can't remember what we started with. We do a little recruitment for that. We go through our classes, speak to our ABE GED classes to see if anybody's interested. Go to speak to the ESL classes. That seems to be our best form of, I guess, recruitment. We do have flyers that we pass out to the students, but really when we go in there and talk to them and kind of give them an idea of what to expect in the class, that usually is most beneficial. Carrie's starting another Bridge class this week. I think we have 8, right, Carrie? I think so far in this class. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But,
and a new one.
That's right. 8 or 9 coming in and starting this week. So that seems to be for the students. When we talk about them, when we talk about the benefits of the class, they're always excited about it. But I think most importantly, whenever we talk about computer work and so like Carrie was saying with with the flyer that the projects that they were able to do. They do a great job of coming together and working on projects and helping them prepare for basically we're preparing them for entrepreneurship. We're also preparing them for college classes. And so they know, like Carrie was saying, the bright space that we use, the communication that we use. I know Carrie, we were fortunate to have one of our helpers in the class who understands. She's a college student here, so she's able to help explain a little bit about bright space to the students to prepare them for when they're taking college classes. It's very helpful for them. But one of the biggest benefits, again, we're very fortunate at IVCC here, is we have a foundations office, and the foundation office has scholarship money that they give out. And so they have been very helpful. So since we've been starting this bridge class, they have been giving $500 to our bridge students upon completion of the class. So not only are they able to go through the bridge class and entrepreneurship class and get the benefits, but a majority of them go on to take classes here at IVCC. I think we have 2 from your class right now, Carrie, doing a computer class at IVCC, so they're able to get the computer skills for when they open up a business. We've had another student who's going on to get her associate's degree. She's taking classes. We just have a variety of students that are taking us up on that, taking the college up on that offer of the tuition reimbursement for the scholarship to continue on. So so with all of that help, it really helps, behind the scenes to help to get the students into the class and to register for the bridge class and to be excited about it. So just a few extra things. I don't know if you guys have any other questions while we're in between here. If there's anybody who's maybe thinking about starting a class like this, or any questions about, we're going to maybe open it up a little bit to see if there's anything about the class that Carrie did that we can answer, or if there's anybody has any questions about starting one up. Or... somebody has to. Tara, you got some questions out there?
Well, I was going to say that if people want to keep thinking and kind of seeing if they have any questions, I'm happy to share the information that we were going to share about the entrepreneurship ICAPS.
Okay.
And so, one of the things that Carrie mentioned is that the students have asked for more, a Bridge 2 class or maybe an entrepreneurship ICAPS. So let me go ahead and share my screen. We just have a couple of slides to share about that, about continuing this conversation around entrepreneurship and hopefully entrepreneurship ICAPS in Illinois. So as we all know, and actually someone just put in the chat, it's a growing and really important option for our students. And we typically see a lot of interest due to students having had their own business in their countries here in the US, or having the desire to open a business. So let's take a closer look at what's happening here. So we had a couple of programs share about their entrepreneurial ICAPS programs at the 2022 WIOA Summit. And the recordings are full of information. We had representatives from CLC, the College of Lake County, and from the College of DuPage share about their entrepreneurship ICAPS. And so actually, I'm just going to go ahead, and I think the best thing to do, since we want to make sure people do have time for questions and such, is I'm going to put that link in the chat where you can go and see those full presentations from the WIOA Summit about entrepreneurship ICAPS that have already happened in Illinois. And I hope this is not clunky when I go to change the screen. Okay. And here we go. So the next slide is all about, Carrie talked about an entrepreneurial bridge curriculum that we have. There is that statewide entrepreneurial bridge curriculum that, of course, we have on the Excellence in Adult Education website, which I will put the direct link to the statewide curriculum here. And we are working on a statewide, we're in an entrepreneurship ICAPS statewide mindset right now. We'd really like to work on this. It's a project that's, part of our plans for the year. And we are happy to support any of your efforts as well to hear about what you're thinking about entrepreneurship ICAPS. We'd like you to check out the COABE sponsored Entrepreneurship Institute, which I had the pleasure of going through the first part of that. It was excellent. It's with Dr. Cheryl Ayers, and it teaches educators about entrepreneurship and then how to teach entrepreneurship to students as well. So I highly recommend that, going to the COABE website and checking out the Entrepreneurship Institute. And I have the website here, and I will also put that in the chat for you. And so that is part of our research that is leading to hopefully having a particular entrepreneurial ICAPS project happening in Illinois. And if you're interested in helping to shape what an Illinois option would look like for an Entre ICAPS, please shoot me an email at Tara. I will put it in the chat because I don't even want to try to say what my email is. So if you don't have my email, there it is. And on my next slide, we have a little bit more information about what this ICAPS is based on and what this Entrepreneurship Institute leads to. And so the customized U.S. Entrepreneurship Certification Exam, it was created in partnership with America's Small Business Development Center. So it does have an industry recognized certificate in the sense that this certification from this test was backed by the U.S. Small Business Development Center. We all have local ones, and there's also a national small business development center. So when one signs up for this exam, preparation resources include a detailed study guide and a practice exam. This is all available after registration is complete. And for an Illinois ICAPS, the support course curriculum would need to be created in conjunction with many of these resources that are provided from this entrepreneurship certification exam. And of course, workforce preparation and adult ed and literacy would need to be included in that support course as well. So this is kind of where this is heading. We do have an option for an industry recognized certificate that occurs with this ICAPS program and accompanying certification exam through COABE and Dr. Cheryl Ayers. So there is the website that I already put in the chat. You can get to the particular information about the certification exam, but there's also a direct link that I put in the chat as well. So exciting things are happening. We're moving towards this in Illinois, and please do shoot me an email if you'd like to talk further about this or be a part of that project. We'd be interested to hear. So I will stop sharing and see if there's any questions.
I noticed there were a couple questions in the chat I didn't see earlier. I know they were saying, would we be interested in being a mentor for a program, wanting to start a program like this? For sure. Yeah, we would be more than happy to help out, to be a mentor to anybody who would like to do this. So just get a hold of myself, Carrie, Sarah, our director. We can get together and help out anytime. That'd be great. And then I think there was someone else who was asking about the levels that we geared towards, and I think Carrie might have kind of answered it. But yeah, usually for this class here, for our ESL population, we try to not go below high intermediate. We usually just got to be either high intermediate or advanced is what we prefer for this class, just because of the material that we cover, and the reading materials and that sort of thing. And then of course, it just makes it a little bit easier for them to handle that and go from there. We had students that are interested in it, and usually for us, we have a beginning ESL class and an advanced ESL class. Most of the time it's geared towards our students in the advanced ESL class who are at that level. All right.
So I dropped our contact info
Okay.
into the chat, especially for Mr. Flaherty. I'm not sure who that was, or JF Flaherty, who was interested in the mentor. So you can contact us at through our email at the college here, and we'd be happy to help you in any way.
I'm actually with ICCB, but I think I just wanted to know if you would, if I talk with lots of programs all the time. So if I ran into somebody who was looking to start something like this, that's why I asked.
Yeah, thank you for sure.
Other questions, curiosities, comments, interest?
Is anybody thinking about starting an entrepreneurship class for Bridge or ICAPS?
And please know we're in a Zoom meeting, so if you'd like to unmute yourself and speak, I see Claudia has her hand up. So Claudia.
Hey, yeah, it was very helpful, very informative. It's something that we've recently just really been thinking about, particularly to assist some of the newcomers and those who are not eligible to work at the United States. So just the way you guys kind of did it gives us a nice little idea of how to maybe go forward. We'll definitely be contacting you all. So good for you all. Good for you all.
Thank you.
I agree. It's a wonderful option with a lot of possibilities for a lot of our students. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you can see from the pictures from Carrie's presentation, especially at the graduation, and just it's just nice to see the students, the satisfaction that they have when they throughout the program and finishing the program, and I do want to add, we treat this class like a college class, so the students, they're expected to be there at the start and towards the and throughout the whole thing. I know sometimes with our adult population, there's a little late arrival or the attendance can be a little bit spotty at times, but for this class, we're pretty strict we make it where they have to, the requirements to complete the class, and again, part of that $500 scholarship and just finishing the class and everything, that we're strict with the attendance and the amount of absences that a student has. And so when they're finished, it's a nice reward when we see that, especially those pictures from the graduation ceremony.
It's such a rewarding thing to offer your students. I feel like it's like the best of both worlds. So here they are offered this adult education class where they can be equipped to go out and pursue their dream. And it's an amazing process for them to go from the beginning thoughts of, oh, I have this idea of something I would like to do, and actually completing it. We have one student whose husband created treadmills for dogs. And it sounds like, wow, that's so interesting. But we live in a very rural area out here, but we're about 90 miles southwest of Chicago. And so in the city, they were getting quite a few orders for these because they weren't able to have the yards or take their dogs for walks as much and have the availability of the area that we have down here in the country. And so they were the biggest purchasers of these treadmills for the dogs, people from the city living in the condos. And so it was very interesting, the ideas that the students came up with. And that's what we want to do. We want to create that hope within them that they don't just, you know, stay complacent, but that they're able to achieve and reach their dreams. And so that's so important in education, is empowering the students to be lifelong learners and go for it. Go after your dreams. You can achieve it. And showing them, you know, real life examples through the videos, you know, on YouTube from Shark Tank, and even having a real person coming into the classroom. It just solidifies the whole process for them, and they realize, if this person did it, I think I could do it, you know. So just really encouraging the students and helping them be set up for success for their future. It's such a rewarding thing to be able to do for your students. Just really enjoyed it. So thankful to be a part of it.
Dr. Ayers would, in the Entrepreneurship Institute, she would also remind us that the concepts are so complementary to a lot of programs that students maybe are already in or plan on taking as well. So if you already have an HVAC ICAPS or something like that, maybe a student would also want to look into opening their own business, or even ECE, or so these concepts and you know, the excitement around that could also really accompany some of the current programming that you have, and really empower students in a different way, you know. So yeah, it is. It's so exciting.
Hello, I just have a quick question. How many weeks is your program? And you say 8 hours or 9 hours per week, right?
Yep. Yeah, we run it for 8 weeks. So we try to run it. So like right now we're doing our second 8 weeks of the semester at our college. And I think the one Carrie had earlier was only 8 hours a week, but we talked about, we try to, sometimes our classroom scheduling is a little tricky, especially finding a computer lab room and that sort of situation. So some of that's beyond our control, but we try to shoot for 9 hours a week, each class being 3 hours long, for 8 weeks, for a total of 8 weeks.
8 weeks. Thank you very much. Thank you for the information.
Sure. And kind of to kind of talk about what Carrie was saying with the engagement of the students, we've noticed too with the Bridge class, the success with transitioning into college classes. Once they go, it's like a little step. That little step helps them. They feel like they're more part of the college, and then they're able to. We've seen the students who have continued on take college classes and be successful, and just took that little bit of encouragement to get them to believe that they can go on and take more classes beyond our adult ed classes. Any other questions? I don't see any in the chat. I don't know.
Make sure you check out the chat. There's a lot of helpful links in there from Tara. And then also I dropped a couple of the downloads in there from my presentation. So make sure you check out the chat, and you could get more information or take a closer look at some of the things that we did, especially if you're interested in starting your own bridge. We encourage you, do it.
Yes. And reach out to us. And also, as you're looking through the chat, a couple of reminders. At 3:15, we have a general session about braided funding. So Angela and Ann from ICCB will be talking to us about braided funding. And then at 4 o'clock, we'll have a wrap up and adjournment. So please make sure to join us for that. And if we don't have any other questions, I'd like to thank Carrie and Luke so much for coming and presenting and sharing your passion and your details about your wonderful Entrepreneurship Bridge curriculum and students. We really appreciate it. Thanks for all your hard work and for sharing. And please reach out, everyone, if you have any questions or would like to run anything by us. And we hope to see you at the next session. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks.